I'm going to posit a theory before we get into this stuff. I'm thinking this is a less famous case of what just happened to the Green Power Ranger, the White Power Ranger, Jason David Frank. This is what happened on a much smaller scale, okay? A man got zeroed out of his relationship, no longer necessary. The lady needed justification for a divorce. Still wanted his money, though, of course, but couple of goofy charges later, realizing that he'd never have access to his family ever again, and then jumped to his death at Disneyland, was a principal accused of child endangerment. What? Interesting. Very interesting. That's just my theory from the offset, okay? Just to show you what sort of, I don't know, opinion I have of this story before we go into this, because I've seen some people opine on this over top of it, so let's see if I'm close on this. A man who jumped to his death at Disneyland, but nobody actually dies at Disneyland. Come on now, haven't you seen the stories? Was a school principal due in court Monday on child endangerment and battery charges. As a principal? Interesting. When he blasted a social media suicide note. All right, the jumper was identified as Christopher Christensen. He wouldn't do that. He's got Christ in his last name, 51, who had been the principal of Huntington Beach Elementary School for 22 years. The Los Angeles Daily News reported court records show that he was due in court for a pretrial conference hearing Monday for the two misdemeanor charges, which he directly blamed for his suicide in a lengthy Facebook post just before he leaped from Mickey and Friends' parking garage. Is that what it's called? Oh my god, that's embarrassing. I hate when people leave this earth with so many unanswered questions, so I hope to provide some insight and perspective, the proud one-time administrator of the year told his Facebook friends in a calm tone. Do we just want to read this? Because we got it, and it actually just fits nicely on screen for everybody. This is my wife, Marlena. Yes, you heard me correctly. Most of you don't know this, but we privately married 3.5 years ago. Marlena and I love and adore each other, and our relationship has been amazing up until recently. There it is. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, she and I got into a heated argument at home in front of the girls. Tempers were flared and strong words were exchanged between us. However, never in this exchange did I hit, slap, or hurt Marlena in any manner. Nor did I ever touch the girls. I have never and never will. Well, now that you jumped, it's really hard to do that from, the grave. I love the girls like my own. Oh, he's a stepdad. Okay, more things to talk about later. Okay, I like my own, and I know that. Oh, and they know that, as does everyone else who truly knows me. Unfortunately, Marlena's anger got the best of her that night, and she called the police, which landed me in jail that night. Where are they from exactly? We'll get some more answers, because I need that to be an answered, not an unanswered question. I know you hate to do that, okay? And the fact that you lead off your suicide note with, I hate that there's, people leave this earth with so many unanswered questions, so before I do the most selfish act that I possibly can by taking a nosedive off of a parking garage, allow me to be a people pleaser one final time. Well, you already married a single mother, so that's a big fucking L for you to hold. He's my stepdad. No, he's not just the stepdad. He's the dad who stepped up. I get full-body douche chills whenever I hear that. Anywho, yes, so Marlena, his wife, called the police, and because I'd imagine there's probably mandatory arrest or something like that, and she just decided to turn on the waterworks, and then immediately the IQ of the police or the responding police officers dropped by about 40 points, and they're like, man, bad, let's go. So yes, me, a man who has never hit or harmed anyone in his life. I think it's safe to say that Marlene truly regrets making the call because the events of that night have completely unraveled both of our lives. I am on the brink of losing my job, as I am on administrative leave until my case is resolved. However, the legal system is extremely flawed, especially against men, fathers, and it's sickening how quickly and easily an innocent man can be thrown in jail based on zero evidence or proof. Yep, if this dude just would have been red-pilled 4 years ago, he wouldn't be the subject to this video. Just saying that. It's sickening how quickly and easily an innocent man can be thrown in jail based on zero evidence or proof. In fact, take a look at the attached screenshot of Marlena's message to my friend about the matter. She, too, had no intention on having that night come this far. She knows I would never hurt her or the girls, and she, too, has been trying to clear my name with little success. Again, the legal system is deeply flawed, to say the least. So here I am, writing my final Facebook post to all of you. I need you to know that a gentle, kind, loving, and sincerely good man has been destroyed by one unfortunate night. It really is unfortunate. This is not me. This is not something that I ever thought would happen to me. With all of this said, I have truly loved educating and leading thousands of students and children as principal of FVSD for the past 21 plus years. I have made so many wonderful connections with the families over the years, and those who know me closely know how much I cared for my students, staff, and families. Please remember me for all the good I brought to this world of education. To all my musician friends, thank you. Thank you for performing me. It's like the rest of this stuff, all dearly. Music has been a wonderful outlet for me, as it allowed me to a different creative world outside my day job as a principal. Sad to say, the last night, the final performance, heavy on the bass, and then probably the spine snapped like some hi-hats. So much more I want to say, but I'm going to spend the rest of my day reaching out to those closest to me to let them know how much I love them. It is not an ideal way to go out, but at least I get a chance to say some final words to those I love and adore. And plus, you were at Disney World or DisneyLand or something like that. You got to go on Splash Mountain before it closed down because of racism, so it's not all bad. Take care, everyone. Please be kind to one another. Don't marry a single mother with an itchy dialing finger. Treat others with kindness and grace. There's too much anger in this world. And that's a callback to saying that his, he's dead now, so is that his ex-wife, I guess? Yeah, was angry that night. Okay. And people need to start treating each other better. What I've shared with you above is a prime example of how anger can really have long-lasting and extremely damaging effects on a person's life. Yep, exactly like a short hop and a sudden stop. Orange County. Oh, okay, so this, I think, would have been in, California. Had to, Disneyland, Anaheim, so duh, makes sense. Do not detail the exact allegations against Christensen. The alleged acts happened on November 15th, and Christensen posted a $10,000 bond and was released on November 17th. He pleaded not guilty to child endangerment and battery during his arraignment on November 22nd. Before his death, he had been principal at Courageous Elementary School for more than 11 years. His LinkedIn shows, "Our hearts are so broken, not as broken as his skull. We love you, Mr. C, and we'll miss you immensely," the school's PTA wrote early Monday. Yeah. But yeah, man, there's a lot to actually learn from this situation. Most of it we went over. But the fact that he was keeping a marriage secret, okay, that tells you a lot. That tells you a whole hell of a lot. And the amount of sway that woman had over him tells you that she had something to hide, okay? She had the upper hand in that relationship, obviously, all the way until the end. He was looking after her 2 kids. She obviously made some claims. He alluded to it a couple of different times. Okay, I would never hit or endanger a kid. Those were probably a couple of the magic words that she said to the police officers to get him out of his house, presumably. So it just goes and points out specifically, hey, if you marry a chick with kids, you're never going to have full authority over them, okay? They're always going to look at you with just kind of a side eye. It's like, you're not my real dad, okay? And whenever you're unnecessary, okay, whenever a woman thinks that she can kick you to the side, whenever you're getting zeroed out of the relationship, well, 911's just 3 digits away. And now guess what? She gets the house, she gets your pension, and she'll get all of the sympathy because you decided to lay all of the blame, some of it justifiable, at the feet of the court system because, there's an inherent bias against men when it comes to the police system, or to the legal system, as it were. Mandatory arrest, which is, in fact, 100% a thing in California. I actually found an article. So yeah, here we go, right from California, updated as of June 17th, 2022. We're talking about California here, so they are pro-arrest domestic violence laws in California. Here's how this would have shaken out this night, okay? So they get in an argument probably about, I don't know, she woke up one morning thinking that, oh yeah, you're just a principal at an elementary school, you half a queer, wanted to say something else there. I don't feel like being here anymore. You get into a heated argument, okay? Somebody's, decidedly losing said argument. Probably starts slapping him. He restrains her. It's like, oh my God, you hit me. Stop hitting me. And it's like, that's not what happened. Something along those lines. I think we've all probably been in a situation where things get escalated to a point where you could make a decision where things would be going incredibly poorly for everybody involved. So if you don't have a place to go, if you don't have a place to leave to, fuck, I just talked about it not that long ago. It was, the Antonio Brown stuff, okay? Never cohabitate with a woman, okay? If you're getting married, that person should have been vetted vehemently, and wifing up single mothers, you're digging your own grave. Case in point, he was trying to fucking jump into it. He wanted to cut out the middleman. Don't have a shovel? Well, just find a high enough roof. And when things decide to go sideways, because you take a look at this, man, most of the places, okay, mandatory arrest, yep, all of those places in dark gray. Pro arrest, yeah, or it's like, okay, cool, it just requires a little bit of tears, and then officers' discretion in the rest of the places, where it's like, well, if we suspect something, but that's essentially what, pro arrest is, because it's basically mandatory in all but name. Always have a place. If anything gets, starts going a bit sideways and you made the stupid decision to think that, oh boy, I get a steady stream of pussy out of this. What could possibly go wrong? And I really like her kids, and I think it'd be a good father figure because her father was a deadbeat. Not trying to connect the dots out there. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So the prior father, who's not involved in their life, okay, he was a deadbeat, but she still decided to sire 2 kids off of using his seed, and now she's using you for your pocketbook. Oh, okay, cool. But she's really a good woman, though. It was just, she was a victim of circumstance, and now guess what? So are you. Domestic violence laws in California make it a crime to cause harm or threaten to harm a current or former spouse, co-parent, cohabitant, or other form of intimate partner. So it breaks the law if you say, oh, you say that shit one more time, you might get a fucking slap in the face. Oh my God. Yeah. Sometimes this list also stretches to parents, children, and other relatives. So basically, if anybody catches a feeling, they can get your ass thrown in jail. Under California law, domestic violence is classified as physically hurting or trying to hurt one of the above-mentioned parties, sexual assault, making one of the above parties reasonably afraid that they or someone else in the home is going to be seriously hurt, abusive behaviors. Such as harassing, stalking, hitting, kicking, shoving, and destroying someone else's personal property. So, abusive behaviors, such as talking poorly, and then, you're hitting and kicking. That's actual abuse. That's real abuse. You should probably put that in another category. Forms of emotional damage, like verbal and psychological abuse. How adorable. So, basically, anything, okay? But yeah, what happened to this dude right here? I even forget his name, and, we're making jokes here, people, okay? Nothing against him. It's like, he definitely was faced with a decision and he chose incredibly poorly. My position on suicide is it's the most selfish thing that you can do. And especially over a bitch and her fucking kids. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Although other domestic violence violations may not lead to required jail or prison time in California, arrest is always mandatory if police believe domestic violence has taken place. If an officer has probable cause to believe, which they can drum up probable cause at a fucking drop of a hat, which was just kind of an immediate red flag when the police came by twice to Amber Heard's place, okay, back in the Johnny Depp days from April. Boy, that was a long time ago. I know a lot of people are talking about the appeal, but I could give less of a fuck about that. There's more pressing things to talk about at this point in time. I'm sure that there's some easy views to check in on that, but regardless, they didn't find any probable cause, okay, from a pretty famous white girl crying her eyes out. Well, actually, we've seen her acting on the stand, so she was probably just yelling and making really scrunchy faces, trying to cry at least a little bit, and they couldn't find probable cause? Bruh. Didn't you see the wine spilt all over the floor and then the pictures being reused for multiple different events? Like, come on, it was a big scary event. Even the alleged victims changes their minds and says that they don't want to press charges or they overreacted, the officer will still make an arrest. Case and fucking point, dude. You will get a black mark on your record, okay? And especially, domestic violence, putting kids in danger, and you're a principal? Oh, that's going to break some sort of an ethics rule, okay? And like our dude pointed out there, high likelihood, high probability that he'd be losing his job. Well, if that relationship wasn't over, it would have been very quickly because, he would have outlived his usefulness. He wouldn't have had his cushy principal's job, okay? He would have ended up losing it. So she was leaving. He was going to be totally fucked. So, of course, how was he going to make that situation better? Well, trying to go out on a high note. This just highlights, once again, man, you have to vet your women carefully, because you're never going to beat the criminal justice system, okay? And you're never, ever, ever going to out-Chad the government. Know the laws in your own states or your own countries, wherever the hell you are around the world, but this one here is universal. Single mothers are recreational use only. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.